Hey guys, I'm coming at you today with a fun readathon announcement. In the month of May, I am going to be co-hosting a short story readathon, and I'm co-hosting this with What Brings Karina Joy and Mitzi Reads and Writes. And I'm really excited about this. I've been talking about this with them for a while, and I've been kind of like saving some short stories, and I think this is going to be a good month. So what we have done is we have created a bingo card with 24 prompts plus a free space, and you can go ahead and join us and try to black out the whole thing. That's going to be my goal. Or if you want, you can just go for a line. You can do like a line of 5, or you can use the free space and go for a line, column, whatever, diagonal line of 4, whatever fits into your reading month. But because they're short stories, they're not really that long, so you can check a bunch of these off really easily. Some of them are going to be a little bit more interesting slash tricky, I think, to fulfill than others, but I think that's a good thing. And that actually just reminds me, I totally forgot to grab some books. I'm going to share some of the books that I'm going to be reading from. But we are also going to be doing a buddy read for a short story. The short story that we're going to be buddy reading is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which I know is a movie. I haven't seen it because, I mean, I've said before, I don't really watch movies, but it has Ben Stiller in it, so maybe I will actually watch it. And it is a short story, so I'm excited because I had no idea that it was a short story until the ladies told me. I believe it was originally written in 1930, late 1930s, so that if you read that one short story with us, you are already checking off at least one of the prompts. So I'm going to go through our bingo board, tell you what is all on here, and then I'm going to show you the books that I'm going to be mostly pulling from. I think I'm going to have to either buy a couple or get some from the library, and I'm going to need your guys' advice on some of these. So here is what our bingo board all has in it. These are all short stories that are written in the 1800s is one of them. It has something to do with weather in the title. Written in the 1900s, From Another Country, a translated book, a number in the title, a color in the title, a mystery book, or short story, sci-fi short story, nature, that would be a nature word in the title, favorite author, a play, we've got gothic horror, fairy tale, humor slash satire, essay, a name in the title, something written in the 2000s, written by a woman, fantasy, adapted to screen, a retelling, a new to you author, and an allegory. So that's 24 prompts. Like I said, you can go ahead and try to fit as many in your month if you want to try to like black it out. You can just do a line, and you can use some of these prompts for the same short story. So if you have one that is written by a woman in the 2000s or whatever, you can cross both of those out. And I'm going to show you what I have here. I remembered, I forgot to grab my like fairy tale stories. So I think I'm going to be reading some Grimm's fairy tales, which would work for the fairy tale one, obviously. But then also, I think those were written in the 1800s. So, I mean, that could be 2 I could check off in the first short story or whatever. Then I have 2 short story collections. I'm not really sure if that's what these would be considered, but, oh, actually, this one isn't even a short story collection, so never mind. This one is. It's Shirley Jackson's Let Me Tell You. So this one has stories, essays, and other writings by Shirley Jackson. So I was thinking of using one of these for the essay prompt, and I don't know, depending what some of the titles are, I can maybe include some more. Then, speaking of Shirley Jackson, I will probably get her short story collection, The Lottery and Other Short Stories, out from the library because I still haven't bought it, and it is one that I really enjoy. So that would work for the gothic horror, and then depending on some of the titles, I could maybe check off some more of these. Oh, and then the humor and satire, actually, I could probably check that off with one of these short stories because she's got quite the sense of humor. Oh yeah, there's a whole section in here on humor and family that has like 10 short stories, so I should be able to check that off with that. Then I have Edgar Allan Poe. I have Classic Tales of Detection and Adventure, and I think this only has like 6 of his short stories in here. 2, 4, 5, and I've read one of them, but I could probably, there's mystery, so I could do mystery These were also written, I think, in the 1800s. I would have to look that up. It doesn't say in the, yes, they would be written in the 1800s, so that would work. Then I have The Importance of Being Earnest and Other Plays by Oscar Wilde. And I've been wanting to read The Importance of Being Earnest ever since Krista read it for, oh, I think it was for Victober. And that would totally work for the play prompt. Next up on my stack of short stories is The Yellow Wallpaper. So if you haven't read The Yellow Wallpaper, this would work for a color in the title. I have read this one, but I want to read more of her short stories. And these are all pretty short. Like some of them are like 4-6 pages long, so super short stories. I honestly don't know what else she writes other than the Yellow Wallpaper is the only one I know, but this would be another one that would be you'd be able to check off, written by a woman. Then I have a collection of modern British short stories. So I don't know what's all in here, but for me, these would work for from another country since I'm not British. And then depending on the short story, they might work for something else. Oh, there's one here called The Rain Horse. That could work for weather. There's lots in here that I've never read before, so that's exciting. This is just a like thrifted purchase from a long time ago. Oh, and then I have my Miss Marple short stories and my Poirot short stories. So these would be good for the mystery prompt, but I mean, I can only check that one off once. And once again, depending on the title, I might be able to check off more. This beast has more than 50 stories, so I feel like my options should be pretty good here. For a new to me author, I might have to go for like one of my kind of like anthologies, because the ones that I've read, the ones that I have that are written by one author, I think I've read something by them before, including this one. This is Father Brown. Once again, this would work for a mystery, but I've read a few of these, so it wouldn't work for a new to me author. But I'm excited to read more stories from this one. And then this is one I haven't read at all. This is The Adventure of the Plated Spoon and Other Tales of Sherlock Holmes. So these are more mysteries. Like, I definitely have a bit of a theme with my short story collections. There are some of these that might count for translated works, and as well the Grimm's fairy tales that I mentioned, they would count because those were originally written in German. Then I have another anthology here. This is the Norton Anthology of English Literature. I think this is what a lot of people use for university or high school. I think more university, but I picked it up because it interests me. So this has tons of short stories and poetry. I think I mostly bought it for the poetry, but now I can use it for the short stories as well. So there's a collection in here, and I'm sure I can check off a few of those from this. And then the last one that I own is the Black Lizard Big Book of Locked Room Mysteries. I've read a few out of here, and I've really been enjoying this. I got this off of Book Outlet a while ago. Once again, they're mystery stories, so it could check off certain boxes, like some of the titles, like weather or color, or what were the other ones? Nature, word, adapted to screen. I'm gonna struggle a little bit with fantasy, adapted to the screen, retelling, allegory, sci-fi. Those are gonna be the ones I'm gonna struggle with the most. So if you have suggestions for me, I would love. I don't have any collections of fantasy short stories or sci-fi short stories. Those especially, I think, are going to be my biggest problems, and short story retellings. So if you have ideas for me for those ones, leave them in the comments below. And so this will be running through the entire month of May. We have a hashtag, and you can download the bingo card in my description below. And we would just love to have you join us. If you guys have favorite short story collections, let me know. It's a great excuse for me to buy some more books. Like, I really need excuses. But especially if they have fantasy and sci-fi, let me know. And I'm always willing to add more mystery short story collections to my collection as well. So thanks for being here, guys, and I hope you join us in May.